Hey YouTube, it's Magician34, and my recent Friday Night Magic we had a draft. It was a chaos draft, and it went really weird and awkward and strange. And the color shift was all over the board, and I was getting one set of signals, and then the color would like completely disappear, and then the colors would shift completely again in the next pack, and it got really strange and confusing. And I drafted what I thought was kind of a strange deck, but it ended up working and playing out pretty well. So I'm going to show it to you. I'm going to show you my side deck of extra cards later, and I'll let you come up with your own ideas. And please feel free to comment and say you did this right, you did that wrong, and anything else, and discuss and debate and think about what I built. Um, so I got one Land of War Elves, one Rakdos Cackler. Those are my one drops. One Timberland Guide, one Wandering Wolf. He's a good early game guy. I ended up having to go 3 colors. One Nightshade Peddler. That guy's especially scary. One Village Ironsmith. He's the guy who flips into the 3/1 first strike. One Scalding Devil. This guy was really nice. He got me in some good burn damage, mid and late. Onyx Mage. I ended up having to drop partway through this draft, but I went undefeated before I dropped. So I had to drop because I had other obligations. But anyway. One Thrill Kill Assassin. That's just an amazing card. Lava Crew's not bad, but I had really not anything in the gold milieu, unfortunately. Hanweir Lancer. This guy is quite astonishing in terms of how good he is. I got one Undead Executioner. One Gang of Devils. It's kind of high on the curve, but it's got a really nice effect, and it's only one in its own color, so I figure by the time I hit 6 mana, I should be able to cast him. One Arachnus Spider. I didn't get any of the Arachnus webs, but he's still a 5/7 reach, so, and once again, only one in his own color. And my last creature, yeah, I was a little creature light, was this guy, Soul of the Harvest. But he's a 6/6 for 6, only 2 in his own color, and green was the main color out of the 3 in my deck, so it was more than reasonable. And I do have some mana fixing, which I'll show you in a bit, so he was amazing. One game I drew like 6 extra cards just because of his effect, and it was his just his girth and his trample ability that ended up winning me that game anyway. In terms of removal, I got Pillar of Flame. Ooh, a foil Pillar of Flame. That doesn't suck. I got a Shock. I got Rampant Growth. These are ordered by converted cost among the non-creatures as well. Rampant Growth, that was a nice mana fixer for me. Got a Titanic Growth. Good beater there. I got a Stab Wound, which is amazing. That really made me want to play black. Annihilating Fire. The double red was kind of, I was a little worried about it, but it never ended up being a problem in the games I did play. I got a Moonsilver Spear. Ooh, also foil, and a very nice draft card, more importantly. More of the mana fixing, I got 2 Vessel of Endless Rest. The first effect never really helped me. It was just the fact that I could tap it for any color. It didn't really mana ramp me so much, but it just, if I ran low on lands because I had to have kind of a tight mana curve, it color fixed for me and it gave me extra mana by number, so it was never really a bad thing. And I also got one Golgari Keyrune. Yeah, Chaos Drafts are strange and silly, but there you go. So that was the main deck, and to go with it, all my lands were basics. I ran, it's going to be hard to see it, but I ran 7 forests, and I had 15 lands total, so nearly half the lands were forests. I had 5 mountains, and then just the 3 swamps. But I virtually never had a color problem, actually. I kind of expected that to be my issue with this deck. But strangely, that was not an issue for me. I don't know if I'll ever fully understand why, but it ended up not being as big a problem as I thought it was going to be. The extra stuff, I really thought I was going to go white for a long time, and considering that, it was really hard for me to not go white because I got this nice little removal suite right here with Defang, Avenging Arrow, and Righteous Blow, all of which made me want to go into white. I mean, Avenging Arrow is just great. Defang just says to prevent all damage that would be dealt by the enchanted creature, so it's not quite a pacifism. It can still be a blocker and whatnot, and it still gets activated abilities off, which means, I mean, it was still a good removal card, but not quite as good as this. And Righteous Blow is, in many ways, just kind of a shock, which isn't bad, but I kind of figured I've already got the removal covered pretty well in red and black, so that wasn't enough to pull me this way. My first bust of the whole draft was this Herald of War, which I loved, and I hated not being able to play that Herald of War. I think in a limited environment, especially where removal might have hit somebody a little bit lower on the curve, this can come out and really wreck some faces because it flies and it just always grows bigger. And I also had Eyes in the Sky to go with that. And my other two white cards were Selfless Cathar and the Celestial Purge, which, I mean, Purge could be a nice side card, and Cathar's not a bad low curve guy. I almost splashed in some white, but I felt like that was a recipe for disaster with my already tricky mana curve. But, you know, tell me down below if you think that knowing this is the rest of my white stuff, maybe I should have gone into white instead of another color, or you tell me. Like I said, this is the best I could pick up. I thought I was going to be in white for a while, and then I ended up having to change that around. But that's what I thought I had in white. I only picked up one blue card all draft. It was the one color that never seemed very strong, but it was Delver, and I thought, you know, if I'm going to pick up one card in that color, that's a great thing to pick up and not get slapped by, so glad I pulled that out. The only green card I got that I didn't play was Terrifying Presence, which was a good card, but I was really tight for slots in the deck. The red stuff I got but didn't play, there were only 3. I didn't run the Manic Vandal just because his effect to destroy an artifact is mandatory, and I run 3 artifacts already, so I thought that could be a hazard, maybe not worth risking it. I like Nightbird's Clutches, but my creatures are a little bit lighter in number, and I don't think I'll ever have a very heavy assault unless I'm already significantly winning as it is. So I didn't think the advantage of this were quite enough to press it in when I was already so tight and had so much good just actual removal in red. But it really hurt not to run that one, so let me know what you think. I almost ran Traitorous Blood. I really wanted to. Well, once again, I thought that with my creatures a little bit lighter, this stealing of a creature probably would be less profitable in most games, where I'd probably be getting beat down by a bunch of small creatures because it's a Chaos Draft. So I thought, sadly, just a straight removal card or something like Moonlit Spear would probably be better than that. So that was my thinking on why I didn't run it. My only gold card was Common Bond, which is not a bad card, but obviously I just kind of picked it up late because there wasn't much else. I did get a Celestia Kieran, which could have helped me go white, and obviously I could have potentially run Common Bond with this. I don't think I really would have wanted to, and it could have been another creature, of course, because it's a Kieran. But since I wasn't in white, I decided not to go with it since I already had 3 cast artifacts that were mana fixers. I had a Worm's Tooth. I thought about running it, but my green was already pretty infrequent, and I figured, no, and I probably won't necessarily profit enough in other matchups. It could be viewed as a side deck card, which isn't bad. And then I got the Celestia and the Izzet Guildgates, but I didn't have the white or the blue in my main deck, so these didn't make it. These were both real late picks, too. So, anyway, that was my draft deck. Yes, it went undefeated. I think I could have taken it to a top 4 finish. Maybe better, it just kind of depends. But yeah, please comment down below. Give me any thoughts you have on this deck. And until next time, like, comment, subscribe, and check out my channel for more cool videos.